Hello, Joanne Bonigaba here from freedommompreneurbydesign.com. In today's video, I'm looking forward to talking to you about Steve Harvey's book, Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man. Now, before I get started, really quickly, if you are new to my videos or channel, what can you expect? I'm doing a reading a book a week challenge, so I'm posting videos about that. I do a lot of videos on video marketing, video blogging, online marketing tips and tricks, a lot on financial education, and just using your time wisely and using your money wisely, doing more with less. So if you find that content of value, I welcome you to hit the subscribe button and also to hit the bell button below where you'll be notified whenever I go live or upload a new video. So have you seen the movie for this book? Actually, there's two of them out now. Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man 1 and 2. I had read this book and I had forgotten that I read this book. And then when I was looking for some relationship books to read in my challenge, I picked this one up. And I'm glad I did. You know, of the semi-big takeaways for me, let me give you the first one, is that at the end of the day, we as women, we set the ground rules by what we choose to accept, what behavior we choose to accept from the man that we are in a relationship with. And second of all, if any man comes up to you and he's talking to you, he is looking to understand what's your price, or I forget the words that Steve uses, but if men don't come up to talk to women just because. They come up to talk to women because they're attracted to them. They want to see what is the potential. And so from the beginning, how you carry yourself, how you respond indirectly or directly in some cases tells that man what is your price or what is the level he needs to meet to be in a relationship with you, right? So that's the key thing. We set the ground rules. And so if we set the bar low, then he can enjoy himself. He can behave how he wants at that low. But if we set the standard high, then only guys who are willing to go to that high standard to be in a relationship with you because they value you will stay, and therefore you'll avoid wasting your time in relationships that are in the end not going to be positive for you. Recommend this book? Yes, 2 thumbs up. Have you read it? What was your biggest takeaway? For me personally, I wish I had read this book in university or when I was a little bit younger. I'm a little bit older now. And one of the things that I thought about a lot was the 90-day rule. And Steve puts forward that in any relationship, you should make the gentleman wait 90 days before he gets the cookie. Has basically to have sex. And I have to admit that when I was in university, 90 days sounds like a lot of time. And I probably came to Christ after, not probably, I did. So I thought I was a Christian, or I professed to be a Christian in university, but I didn't have a personal relationship with Jesus. So when I thought about this, I had to acknowledge to myself that I had premarital sex. Second, I had to acknowledge to myself that I was no way waiting for the 90-day rule. And if I had, I would have avoided some of the very painful relationships that I had entered into. And third, I thought to myself as well, my initial reaction was 90 days sounds like a lot. But I think it's because in our culture, we're ingrained to be like instant, 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 go quick, go quick. And so that 90-day rule, if you are in that same thought of initial response, that sounds like a lot of time, really consider it. Consider, if you're a woman, how that can protect you, how that can really give you a chance to get to know the man that you're involved in. I honestly also regret that I didn't wait until marriage. When I was young, like 18 or 20, I waited until maybe 22 years old. Anyway, I was thinking, yeah, I'll wait until I get married to have sex. And then I fell. And now that I'm married, I really regret it, you know. And now that I have a personal relationship with Jesus and I understand the impacts of having sexual intercourse, I really regret it. So I'm just giving all that context to say, 90 days is actually a very short time. And I wanted to just share with you honestly sort of my initial response and kind of what I went through mentally when I was reading that particular section of the book. The last thing I wanted to talk about is that, as a Black woman, there's often that stereotype or that story that Black women are aggressive and they talk off to men and make it hard to be in a relationship. And I really liked how Steve addressed that. And he gave really good examples, particularly near the end of the book or in the chapter where he talked about the man who's really close to his mother and how that might interfere with your relationship with him. And he showed the example that as a Black woman or as a woman in general, you can set your standards and you can have a conversation with the man who's looking to be in a relationship with you or who is in a relationship with you in a loving, kind, and gentle manner, but still be firm on what you are willing to accept. And so I mentioned that because I feel as well one of my errors when I first got into relationships is that I felt since I was too aggressive, I got angry quickly. And one of the things that I'm working on now is that when I am expressing hurt or expressing where my standard on being firm is to express that in a loving way that doesn't make the next person defensive. So anyway, that's my review of this book. An amazing book. Love the movie. Still recommend you read the book. It's a really quick and easy read because, Steve is a comedian. You can feel him in the pages. He shares a lot of stories. He keeps it simple. I love the chapter about, and he put it very simply, they cheat because they can, right? And then he boils it back down to say that, at the end of the day, you as a woman, you have to set the standard and enforce it as early as possible in your relationship, what you consider acceptable, right? Because if you let things slide at the beginning and you let them slide, then that becomes the standard. And then when you finally had enough and you talk and you fly into a rage or you just finally set your foot down 5 years later, 5 months later, whatever, after all those occasions, it's going to take more reinforcement. It's going to take more work to set that quote unquote new standard because to him, unconsciously or consciously, it's a new standard because now what you let slide is not being let slide. All right, tell me what you thought. I was hoping to keep this video short, but I think I went over time. Thank you for spending a few moments of your time with me. I'm enjoying reading these books. So if you've read this book, I really recommend this book. I did a review on it on my channel. And I also really, really recommend this one. This was hilarious, but these two books are like in sync. Like they affirm each other. Okay, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next video.